Hey ho, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. Jarl Cody contacted me today with an idea for this video, so thank you. And, let's get inside. That's why I came out here in the first place. It's windy. Y'all do know that's the way to contact me, right? Email, vikingservices@hotmail.com. Put your Viking level at the top in the subject line. I'm trying to get this camera set up. Get right to your point. If it takes you 3 paragraphs of intro and explanation before you get to what you want or what you suggest, I am not going to read it, let alone answer it. All right, that should work. Just being truthful. So get to your point. Anyway, his point, his question, his idea was, PJ, you tell everybody to come out and hurt my people, but man, we need jobs. We need some form of income coming in, because as much as we'd all love to, eat roots and berries and duck eggs, dental bills, gasoline in the car, the kids need new shoes, we live currently in a system that requires money. That at some form or another, you're going to need money, and there are no jobs like what I'm doing out in the boonies. Let's talk about that. When you come out of hurting my people, it's not just a physical move. It has to be a mental move, an emotional move, a spiritual move. Which is really what it's about. The rest just kind of follows. And so you got to leave that Babylonian stuff behind, speaking metaphorically. Your ideas need to change about what right is, about what you need, about what you must have. Out here in the boonies, in the rural areas where it's poor, where you can afford to buy land, people don't care about all that stuff. They care about the city. Nobody cares about your cool hoop-de-hoo earrings. Nobody cares about your new shoes. Nobody cares about the car you drive or how shiny it is or your rims. I mean, people just don't care, man. That consumerist mindset is much dampened out in the country, out in the boonies, than it is in the burbs and the cities. It's still there, but it's much dampened. People just can't afford to buy that stuff. Why? Because the jobs aren't paying that well. So they don't have it. And that's okay. So number one, change your expectations of what you need. I'm not willing to do that. Then stay in Babylon. If you've got to have granite top counters and a paved, marbled driveway, and go on with your bad self. That's one. Number two, some people can get really good jobs out here in the boonies. There are very high-paying jobs. If that's you, then you don't need this video. So number one, lower your expectations, lower your needs, that kind of thing. Embrace your country life. Number two, people out here in the boonies have many streams of income. So instead of your one job that pays you whatever you're getting paid right now a year, they have a bunch of little jobs that probably together, added up, don't pay as much as your one job, but they pay enough. They pay enough to get by and to do the things. Again, when you come out of her, my people, it's a mental thing, right? You got to want to come out. If you still want all that stuff, it's very difficult to have it all, baby, out here in the countryside. You can if you got enough money, but it's difficult for the average person. So what do you do for multiple streams of income? Internet-based things. Even in the boonies, there's internet. And so I know people we have Shofarians who work on the computer all day long from their home. One Shofarian from their 30-foot camper trailer that they live in. Answer the phone, do things on the internet. I'm not even sure what it involves, but it's something where they have to be on call on the internet on their phone all day long. Another Shofarian was the customer service for a mid-sized corporation. When you called customer service, you got him in his office, in his apartment. And he got paid pretty good money for that, living out here in the boonies. YouTube. Some people can make a go of it on YouTube. You have to have an idea. You have to have a personality. You have to be not too controversial or too right-wing if you want to make any money. But there are people making pretty good money on YouTube. Patreon. A lot of my lifestyle is supported by Patreon. I mean, it's the truth. So there's that. Retirement. If you are within a few years of retiring, man, that's a pretty hard decision. You know, I'm thinking I'm probably staying until retirement, then move into the boonies. You know, that's my thing. That's what I did. I retired from the military. And I stuck it out, and the last little bit of it wasn't a whole lot of fun. But it's like, hey, you know, I have 15 years in, 5 more years of pain, and get a little retirement check, which isn't huge by any means, but it's a stream of income. You add it in there. People sell eggs, literally, chicken eggs. You have some chickens, you have a sign out on the road that says, farm fresh eggs, $3, $2, you know, whatever they're going for. We don't buy them, so I don't pay that much attention. But I do see the signs. People sell milk. People sell firewood. People, we have a brother here who on the side cuts trees. He's very good at it. And so he goes to places in the boonies and cuts down trees, or he goes to really nice neighborhoods and prunes, you know, trims that branch that's overhanging the $500,000 home without hitting the gutter. He does that, and he gets paid pretty good money for that. I know somebody out here who has a part-time job working in the chicken houses, and they go in when they're doing the cleanup, and they go through and pick up dead chickens. And hey, it pays a couple bucks, you know, for that night that they do that. Somebody else out here takes time to go pick up these rocks with a group of guys. They pile these rocks on some kind of truck. They take it somewhere and palletize it, and they sell them as like landscaping rocks. Little streams of income. Get a part-time job doing something in town. Those are now you're starting to get into the harder to find, but there are jobs you can do. I think most of the people who make it in the country, though, are more self-employed. There's a lot of backyard mechanics that are killing it money-wise. You know, people are paying that, and they charge cheap compared to the suburbs, but they've got people lined up giving them $40, $60, $100 all day long. And when you take that cash and translate that into, I'm not really spending a whole lot of money anyway, you're doing pretty good, right? Farmers markets, things like that. So you can do these things. Being realistic and wanting a chunk of change, I think probably the best option for making money out here is internet-based. Some type of internet-based work. And there's a lot of it. There's so much of it. I was reading about a woman. I was actually watching her videos for a while. She lived in her car, and that's why I was watching it. You know, it's like van life or something. And they were interviewing her. And she spent time every summer being a wilderness survival instructor at some schools out west. And then during the year, and I think there were 3 women talking, so I'm probably getting them a little confused with each other. But it doesn't matter. One woman did that. Another woman happened to speak Chinese or Japanese or something, and she would translate papers. And they would send her a download, you know, translate these, and it was piecework. And she'd go to a McDonald's, get on the Wi-Fi, download them to her laptop, then go live in her van and translate these documents, or I think she summarized them. I think they were like written in Japanese or Chinese, and she would summarize them in English. And then send it, and then they sent money to her bank account. She got money. So things like that, web-based stuff. There's always construction, but... Well, I had another brother out here who came out here from out of her, my people, and clear-eyed, strong, polite, not drunk, not hungover, not high, not surly, had a sense of time. And after I met the guy, I said, man, you're going to get promoted within 2 weeks of getting a job. He had so many jobs, and he just kept getting better as far as money and what it took out of his life to do jobs. And he became a supervisor. Because, unfortunately, out here in the boonies, there's just a lot of low-quality people. What'd somebody tell me, call those people low-vibration people or something? There's a lot of low-quality people, which means it's easy for you to shine, right? You could just, they're like, man, I like you, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I'm going to make you the supervisor of 5 of these people. Hey, I like you. I'm going to make you the supervisor of 3 supervisors, whatever. You can do that as long as you can keep your head together. And so, yeah, in that extent, construction works. My son worked construction out here for a while. Worked in concrete for a while. He didn't know anything when he started, but they liked him because he showed up on time, not drunk or hungover, right? And worked hard all day without complaining. Imagine that. So those are the things. Multiple streams of income. Don't expect necessarily a full-time job. Lower your expectations for what you need money for. Be willing to do with less. Are there other ways to crack this nut? There absolutely are. There are people who are very comfortable financially, living on their little slice of heaven. We have some Vikings like that. But you know what? They made really smart life choices coming up, and they're still doing the little odd jobs. That's another thing, consulting and traveling, right? If you have skill sets that are in demand, and there's a wide variety of them that are in demand, and you're willing to travel from your little slice of heaven, and I'm not talking about traveling all week, every week. You just take a business trip, once a month or something for a few days to several days. You can bring in some cash doing that too. We did that. I was a contractor for a while here at Shofar Mountain, and I would go away for, 10 days to 2 weeks a month for a while, and was killing it financially until I got the things paid for that I needed paid for. And then I just decided I didn't want to travel anymore. But if I wanted to travel, I could go make a lot more money again. I don't care about money that much anymore. And see, that's the thing. I'm changing as I live out here. Yesterday, Sister Kate and I took a walk for about, an hour in the woods. It cost us nothing. We had an awesome time. We talked about it all afternoon, our little walk.